to write down for this, then start by writing down those words that you showed and what questions that you might have. We'll take just a minute. A little bit of a more difficult do now today, so give us a little more time. Finish up those last thoughts. Take 30 more seconds here. All right, finish up that last thought. Be prepared. Have your answer. What do you have?
Huh?
All right, Dave, free up your hands. We're going to get started. Whether you're done or not, it's okay. All right, let's have those pencils down. Let's have those eyes up here. Let's have those voices off. Merciful is ready to start class today. Cheyenne is ready. Amari is ready. Amina is ready, waiting on a couple pencils. It's okay if you're not done. Chase, Chris, eyes up here. Chris. All right. Way to be in line with expectations today. Folks, you might notice this number dwindling. I hope it doesn't scare you. 5 more days of class, including the time we have together today, before the state of Ohio will decide how much you learned this year. I'm so excited about what we're doing.
Not excited.
It is exciting. It'll be exciting. Does that mean we're going to change everything that we're doing because it's 5 days before the test? Absolutely not, but it does mean we're going to think about how what we're doing is going to help us on that test. So today was a little bit more of a difficult do now. I gave you something you've never seen before, and I asked you to explain what it means. If you remember when we did practice questions for the OST, I asked you to first identify the central idea of the new test. Kind of the same thing here, just a little bit of a small snip at it. So let's try and see what we can build here together. What is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. saying here? Those plain words. What did you write down? So almost everybody has something. Shanice?
I got something about it.
That's okay. Here's what you got.
I said 5 square years ago, a grand year, in which we represented it.
Yeah, so 5 score years ago. Let's start with that. What does this mean? Anybody know? 5 score years ago. I do not expect you to know what this means, but we would know what 5 years ago means, right? What is 5 score years ago? I'll get like Jolly Rancher, everybody knows this. I would be very surprised. Okay. Yeah?
Maybe like more.
Doesn't mean more. Score is a fancy old person term for 20 years. So, or 20. So here when it says 5 score years ago, to our mathematicians in the room, that would be 5 sets of 20 years, which would be? Very nice. JC, I'm with the side. So a century ago, why is he saying it in his fancy way and in terms that people don't use anymore? Even in King's time in 1963, nobody used the word score. Why would he use it? Well, why do you think I gave you this piece of information up here about the Emancipation Proclamation? He's saying 100 years ago that that was signed. Why would he use an old term when he's talking about that thing that happened so long ago? Next one?
Since it happened a long time ago, he decided to,
Say again? Sorry? What King is doing here, I don't want to take all of our time on this, but I'm just formally trying to introduce what we're going to do today. What King is doing here is referencing the language that Lincoln used in signing the Emancipation Proclamation. When Lincoln gave his Gettysburg Address 100 years before this, He referred to the 407 years ago that the Declaration of Independence was signed before him. He's making a reference to the language that Lincoln is using. When we make a reference in literature to a different piece of literature, there's a word for that. Does anybody, does anybody identify what that literary term is? We're going to talk about it today. Look at the agenda board. Anybody know what that might be? It starts with an A. See the same hands, Peyton. Illusion. Everybody write this word. Even getting nothing else. Write down this word, illusion. Oh, thank you. Illusion. Not illusion like optical illusion, like something that you see that looks funky. Illusion with an A. Illusion is when you make a reference to something else. They are so common in literature that I'm about to show you that when you're reading them, you often don't even know that you're reading a reference to something. So I see Amina's already ahead of me. She's flipping to page 2 because she's added to her notes from the do now. Once you've done the same, you can do just as she did. Garrett.
I like the definition, like
For an illusion?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the definition of illusion on the next page. Whatever your thinking is. Go ahead. So illusion, would somebody like to read the definition of an illusion? I can't say. Andre, go for it.
A brief and indirect mention or reference to a person, place, idea, or older text with historical, cultural, and literary importance.
Literary importance. That's a big part of this. We're specifically going to focus on older texts. Oftentimes, authors, people who write things, usually like to read things also. So they've read a great number of things, and they like to reference things that they've read before. When we start to look at some of these, this is going to make a lot more sense. We're going to get into our first bit of partner work for today, or group work. What I've done here is I've given you 4 examples of allusions, and I've bolded the part of it that's an allusion, a reference to another piece of work, to another text. Now, you might not know where all of these come from, even if you've heard them before, but you should be able to identify the meaning. So this goes in 2 steps. Read the allusion, the first one. He's a real Romeo when it comes to romance. He sweeps everyone off his feet. First, just tell me what it means. I know you all know probably where that comes from. Just tell me what it's saying about this individual, that he's a Romeo. What does it mean? Then, if you know, tell me what the reference is, which work is it coming from. And there's 4 of those. So we're going to take 4 minutes with the folks around you. We're not going to move our desks. We're just going to have those level 2 conversations and then write. You're going to try to identify at least the meaning of these 4 references. If you don't know where it's coming from, that's okay. If you finish early, try and answer this last question. How can a person get better at understanding illusions? But first, I wanted to focus on just the meaning of these 4 illusions at that level 2. 4 minutes. So you're going to immediately turn around and start working with JC on.
Andre, I know Andre. I don't remember.
Amir and Andre are working at that perfect level 2. She started writing her first answer. Chloe's writing her first answer. Pencil? This is a great level 2 right now. It's a great level 2. You get a little left. Romeo, what does that mean? Write it down. Where does it come from? What you think it means at the top, in your own words, where it comes from, if you know, is the second question. When this timer hits 3 minutes, I'm going to start going by and making sure you understand the task, that you know what we're looking for here. So try to have at least number 1 done in the next 10 seconds. What do you think? Very nice. I disagree, Mason. Don't tell me. Oh, I appreciate it.
So first, tell me what you think this means. If you're using good enough to tell me what you think it means when they say he's a Romeo. I agree. So this is what you would put here. That's okay, I have the switch now. So protein signature is 7. If he's a real Romeo, that's what I was at.
I agree, make sure that's on this list. Go on to number 2, if you're done with number 1, I'm seeing a lot of people stagnant after they've done number 1.
Okay, go to number 2. So the reference is from our
Yep, I agree. Huh? Yes, I agree. Very nice, very nice. We're killing our number 1. We're going to add 1 more minute here because I know that we're having some great conversations about the rest of these. At the very least, get them meaning what's being said. Very nice, 1 and 2, you have correct.
Her weakness is math, the number 3. The reference is her weakness.
This group's killing it. 2.5 more minutes, try and finish that up. Well, you answered both questions.
Like he's smarter. Superman.
Yes.
I agree. Okay. Yeah. The reference for number 2 is tough. I'll be super impressed if anybody gets that. So make sure you're using your time effectively. Move on if you don't know. Yes, I agree. It's not from a movie. It's tough. Most people don't even know that it's a reference. That's how old it is. Well, you did, but I opened up. I hope they have it. That's what I'm saying.
The number 4.
Very nice. Try to get number 2. 1 more minute. Take a guess if you don't know. We'll go over it. If you are done, answer that last question. That's the most important one. How can you get better at understanding illusion? Thirty seconds. I agree. You can get number 3 from the time. Are we arguing about the Good Samaritan?
Yes. I'm trying to tell them good means good and God means right.
Riveting intellectual discussion. We'll see who's right when we come back to that. All right, UC Davis, free up your hands. Mason's got no motion. All right. Free up your hands. One more time. All right. Even if you're not done, we're going to help you out. I saw such phenomenal, diligent, intellectual conversation. Great work to get us a couple points here. And we're going to go over this because everybody gave it their good college try. So, he's a real Romeo when it comes to romance and speech. Everybody out there, feet, I'm looking for a sound. Hey, just tell me what it means. Tell me where it comes from. Divya. Yeah, it means he's got Riz.
Oh.
No?
He's very skibbity.
I don't know what that means. He's romantic. He's good with romance. Bonus point. Does anybody know what that comes from? Make sense. Your hand up.
The movie Romeo and Juliet, right?
So Romeo and Juliet, this movie's been made into a couple movies, but does anybody know what Romeo and Juliet originally was?
A book?
Gary? Oh, okay, JC. Not a poem. It was a play. Anybody know by who? Oh, yeah, it's a Shakespearean play. The play, Romeo and Juliet, very nice, very well read. The play, Romeo and Juliet. Not to be confused with the movie Nomeo and Juliet. I don't know if you've seen that one. It's probably a little old for you. All right, The Good Samaritan. 3 Jolly Ranchers, if anybody knows what this one comes from. But first, what does it mean? What does it mean?
What?
It means a good citizen.
A good citizen, exactly. A good citizen, a good bystander, a good stranger. Now, what does this come from? You've probably heard this reference so many times that you don't even know where the original comes from. This is very common with illusions. That's how common they are. What does this come from? It does come from a book. So this is from the story of the Good Samaritan in the Bible.
Y'all not reading the Bible for it.
So you might not have any interest in reading the Bible. It's certainly not a requirement of this class that you do. But let's have those voices off, JC on 7, Cheyenne 7, Jason 7. It's certainly not a requirement that you read the Bible or want to read the Bible, but it is the most read book on earth, and it's the most alluded to book ever written. So whether or not you recognize it, references to the Bible are made all the time. We talked about the beginning of the year in Castle Diary, if you remember that far back. There was a reference to Judas. Judas is the man who betrayed Jesus in the Bible. You don't have to know or enjoy the stories, but you do have to recognize the literary devices. All right, we'll keep it moving so we don't spend too much time on this. She's a good student, but math was her kryptonite, first of all.
She's not good at math.
Yeah, math could be her what? Not her kryptonite, like what's the synonym, Sean? Weakness, very nice. Kryptonite means weakness. Now, what is this from? I expect most people to know this one.
Superman.
Superman! This is from Superman. He's from the planet Krypton. The material kryptonite is what makes him lose his powers.
What?
That story has become so popular that now anything that's a weakness is called a kryptonite. This is how illusions work. I think it's one of the better examples. All right, lastly, Pandora's box. This one's challenging. You all right? Sorry? Could be an argument. What more generally is this referring to? Problem?
Like open up the issue.
Yeah, like opening up a bunch of problems. Doing something that's going to cause a bunch of problems. Andre, you're on my list. Does anybody know what this comes from? Mason?
The game?
Pandora's box? Is that a
Oh,
game?
Pandora's box.
Pandora's box.
Doesn't that come from like
Let's make sure we're not.
Greek mythology?
Yes, this is from Greek mythology. The story of Pandora. You say what?
Greek.
You maybe have also, again, this might be a little bit old for your young minds, but there was a music service called Pandora.
Oh yeah, I know.
That's also a reference to the same story. All right, we'll answer this last one together. How can a person get better at understanding illusions? If I'm seeing repeated references to things, what can I do beforehand to make sure I'm going to get more of them? Antoine?
Go ahead.
Like you can do research.
You can do research. What else?
Yeah.
You can look at the words and give you hints.
The words and give you hints. You can sometimes tell if something's an illusion. First one on my list. How about something that we do in here? We do it every day, and it helps us understand illusions.
Read.
If you read more, and you have more stories in your brain, and you see references to those stories, then you'll understand them better. We do have cases like Good Samaritan where you don't actually have to know the Bible book to know what that means. But there are a lot of illusions where it really does help to know where that illusion comes from. All right, great work on that, UC Davis. Once you've added to your notes, as we did in the last page, you're going to flip to page 3. We're going to do some super duper quick review on literary devices before we get into our reading. Does anybody still need this up here? Alright, let's be on page 3 in about 5 seconds here. Let's go to page 3. And hopefully I'll stop talking for a little bit. I know you all love the sound of my voice so much.
Nope.
There's a verbal response to that. At least somebody wanted a disruption. Alright, we're going to go through really quickly. We're going to go through really quickly, and I'm going to need some people to read the definitions of our, I think there's 9, I should have counted earlier, literary devices that we're going to talk briefly about. So, Mason's going to give us the definition of imagery.
Language that connects to the five senses. Sight, sound, smell, taste, touch to create an image or description.
Yeah, the 5 senses. If you see something that's appealing to the 5 senses to help you visualize or think about what's happening, imagery. Very nice. Someone tell us what a metaphor is, Shanice.
A phrase that describes something like experience.
It's on your paper. Yeah, comparison made between two unlike things. We'll get a little more specific with simile. Amir.
A phrase that describes something by comparing it to something other than the other thing, using the words like or as.
Like or as, and it's used to emphasize a particular quality. It will tell you what it's saying. As fast as a cheetah. It's telling you why they're being compared. In a metaphor, he was a cheetah. You don't get the quality. Repetition, Andre.
A device that repeats the same words or phrase to emphasize an idea.
Thank you. Personification. Based on my list. Antoine.
The act of attributing human characteristics to non-living things.
Everything one voice there. Hyperbole. Easiest one. Easiest participation points we get all day. Amina. Extreme exaggeration. It was 1,000,000 miles away. I've said that 1,000 times. Alliteration. This one's a newer one for us. Kiara. Second to last one.
A repetition of
Initial
initial
sounds. Initial consonant sounds.
consonant sound.
Yeah. Peter, Piper, picked a pack of pickled peppers. He repeating. That's alliteration. Midtown Market. Sounds better. Alright, an allusion, a reference to a person, place, or thing, idea of historical, religious, or political significance. We just talked about that. Here's what we're going to do so that we don't spend the rest of class on this review, because I know we already know most of these. I'm going to assign you one of these, just one time. You're going to come up with one example, and then you're going to be prepared to share so we can all fill out the chart. I'm not going to assign anybody repetition or alliteration, because those usually occur within the context of the text, and it's harder to isolate them. So, I'll do it by row here, because I believe we have 6 rows. So we'll do this front column here. Chris's column is going to do an example of imagery. This is going to be independent, by the way. Once I assign you your literary device, you can start thinking of that example and writing it down. Amani's column is going to have metaphor. Xavion's column is going to have similes. Cheyenne, Amari, Amir, you're going to have personification. Jason, Janaya, Andre, you're going to have hyperbole. And Mason, Antoine, and Isla, you get the fun one, you get to make a reference in the illusion. We're going to take 2 minutes to come up with your example. This is rapid fire, so we can move on. I'm going to cold call somebody from each column. I don't know who it's going to be. It could be you. So be prepared. Don't let the team down. 2 minutes, silent solo. Come up with your own example. Go. Lonnie's writing her example of a metaphor. Xavion's writing his example of a simile. Voices are off. Kiara's working at that level 0. Make sure you don't have the same example. Illusion.
That's a simile. Remember, it's blowing like something. Oh, you know what? I would say, figure out how to say the wind was
but just say the verb. The wind was what? And then assign a human action to it. Personification's tough. Oh, very nice, very nice, very nice. Very nice. Who am I going to call on for workshop? Less than a minute. If you finish up early, one of the two problem points, try repetition or alliteration. Make sure I'm not hearing any side conversations right now. What does what mean? Reference means like that. Like an allusion is a reference. It's a reference to something. Chris, backward. Actually, you see it, it's free. It's free. We'll put another point on the board, because why not? All right. Oh, we got a point for every time I did that. I think we would be rich. All right. For the sake of speed, I'm going to try to abbreviate a little bit of what we've written so that we can all get everything down. Imagery. Chloe, what's your example of imagery? Earthy smell is what I'm going to pull from that. It really allows you, it appeals to your senses, the sense of smell, and it really allows you to visualize how the flowers work, allows you to live in that. All right, for metaphor. I see some hands up, I'm supposed to cold call. All right, I'm going to go for it. The wind feels like water. I'm going to take that, except for I'm going to put it in a different column. Somebody tell me, with a silent hand, why did I put this in simile and not metaphor? Say again? Because it has like. Sorry to steal the thunder from the simile group there. Who's got a metaphor? We're still missing a metaphor.
The sun is as bright as a lunar eclipse.
Somebody tell me, why would I put that in the simile column? That's okay, you were in the simile column. Because it has as in it. All right, Amina, metaphor? You were in the metaphor column. You're off to a good start. Nobody's got a metaphor? She's got a metaphor? I've got a metaphor.
I mean, it got lighter. I said the duck was very yellow. It kind of looked like a banana.
Okay, can somebody turn that for a scholarship merit into a metaphor? Get rid of light.
Wait.
Turn it into a metaphor, but I want the same comparison. I want the duck compared to a banana.
I can say, the duck was very yellow. It's kind of similar to a banana.
You don't need to say so many words. You can just make the comparison. It's a duck and banana. I need duck and banana. We're staying with duck and banana. The duck was as yellow as a banana, but it's not a simile, so I don't need as, and I don't need the quality. I don't need it to say yellow. You're just saying one thing is the other.
A duck is a banana.
The duck was a banana. Now, I do agree with Shanice that stylistically I might make this a simile if you were writing this in an actual piece of text, but for the sake of this is in fact a metaphor. All right, try to speed up a little bit. Personification. Amir, hit me.
Remember, like, when you said, like, it was like a simile, I agree, because I had like her ass on, somewhere.
Okay, but what did you have?
I said the wind was blowing like a howling wolf, so I don't know.
Wind was blowing like a howling what?
A wolf. What?
Okay, so Amir has a personification in this sentence. He just added some more stuff than he needed to. Can somebody isolate the personification? The wind was howling.
Or.
The wind can't actually howl. For the sake of speed, we're going to keep going, Mason. I appreciate it. Oh, your contribution. The wind was howling. Perfect. Can't actually howl. It's not literal. It sounds like this. All right. My three musketeers here, who wants to give us, that's a metaphor, who wants to give us some extreme exaggeration? Who wants to give me some extreme exaggeration? Andre.
My mom told me 15 times to take out the trash.
My mom told me 15 times to take out the trash. Could she have actually told them that 15 times? Yes, this could be literal, but you could also say this for its figurative language. I don't know if you know, I mean, 15 times is a lot of times. It's unlikely that she didn't really did it that many times. She told me 15 times. All right. Who's giving me an illusion? Antoine. Oh.
Penis is their kryptonite.
What is?
Peanut is a
Oh, peanuts. Peanut allergy. Peanut allergy. Very good. Yeah. Peanuts, for someone with a peanut allergy, peanuts are her kryptonite. I don't know what's so funny about it. Alright. We're going to get into the last part of our class today. Go ahead and flip to the next page once you've added to your notes. Does anybody remember the document I gave you on your Do Now? What was it from? What was it an excerpt of?
Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King, his speech. What speech? Probably the one you've heard of. The I Have a Dream speech. So here's what we're going to do. Let's have those voices off. Anton silent, Kiari silent, Cheyenne is silent. See, I have the next 3 pages of your packet are all this speech. Now, before you moan and groan because that's so much to read, we're going to make it a little easier. What we're going to do here on my list is we're going to try to identify each of the literary devices we just talked about in this speech. And on your exit, you're going to talk about the impact that they have to inspire, as our focus question says. We're going to do one together because I think there's one that you can already identify. Is there something, I don't know, that Martin Luther King Jr. might repeat several times in this speech? Something we remember, but maybe we've seen it before. Something he says a bunch of different times. It uses repetition. Is there a phrase he says over and over again? More than just I. He does say I. Yeah, so he says I have a dream a bunch of times. So let's find where that is. We know that repetition here is number 1. It's the first thing we're looking for. So let's find where he keeps saying I have a dream. Oh, we see here, starting in paragraph 17, I have a dream. So I'm going to underline that. And 18 because he's repeating it. And 20. That's the repetition. So I'm going to underline this so that I know it's repetition. I'm going to put it number 1 so Mr. Khayat knows that I'm labeling this as repetition and not simile or hyperbole. So it's a little bit of a scavenger hunt. We're going to try to find these literary devices that Martin Luther King Jr. deliberately uses throughout the speech. The only curveball we're throwing into this is instead of doing it how we've been doing it, where we'll read it and then watch the video, we're going to watch the video first. So as you go through this, Martin Luther King Jr. is going to be giving the speech, and you can see things that he might choose to emphasize. Like if he's saying, I have a dream, he's emphasizing it. It's clear that that's the repetition he's giving, so this will help you a little bit. Also, if you're somebody that takes a little bit more time to read, this will help, because Martin Luther King Jr. is going to read it. All right. As I'm pulling this up, we're mentally preparing ourselves to embrace the pure inspiration that is the I Have a Dream. It's one of the most, probably the most famous speech in American history. All right. As always, with these assignments, I'm going to leave the lights on so that you can write. I appreciate your patience.
So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream.
Sorry, let's find the part where he's talking about. I don't want to read it incorrectly. So, can somebody identify where in the speech we're starting? Paragraph 16 says, Amina. And so, even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, we're going to for that. We're going to start at paragraph 16 in your reading, see what you can find. After we're done with that, you'll go back to the beginning and see if you can find more. The goal is to find at least one example of each if we can get there.
So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my four little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day, down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, every hill and mountain shall be made low, the rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning, my country tears of thee. Sweet land of liberty of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrims cried. From every mountainside, let freedom reign. If America is to be a great nation, this must become true. And so let freedom reign. From the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom reign. From the mighty mountains of New York, let freedom reign. From the hiking Alleghenies of Pennsylvania, let freedom reign. From the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado, let freedom reign. From the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom reign from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom reign from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom reign from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom reign, and when this happens, when we allow freedom reign, when we let it reign from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
All right. So we are looking at about 17, 18 minutes left in today's class. As we have been doing during this focusing question unit about how language inspires, your exit ticket is going to be comparing, making an argument about this speech being more inspiring than what we read yesterday with Bilal's speech. If you weren't here yesterday, it's okay. I will talk to you individually. For the sake of time, what we're going to do is I want you to get at least 12 to 15 minutes on that whole paragraph because we've been practicing that writing structure, and I want to make sure you can finish it here today. So I'm going to give you about 2 minutes, we'll take 3 minutes, look back, skim what you need to of the part of the speech we just heard, and you have a question at the bottom. What is the central idea of this speech? Now, you cannot do the exit ticket without understanding what Dr. King is saying. So I need everybody to answer that question in the next 3 minutes. Go back and read, answer that question at the bottom of the speech. What is the central idea? We will go over it, and then we will start the exit ticket. We have been absolutely killing it today. Let's stay there. The end of our time together. Go ahead and get started. Say is already writing things. I'm very confident. Gina, go. Dean is writing the central idea. I think it's writing the central idea. Write your central idea. We'll go over it. It's okay if it's wrong. Try your best. See if you can, if you finish early, identify anything else in the speech you might want to use as evidence of inspiration, because you'll need it on the exit ticket. Maybe you have an underline before we start. It's going to help you. More seconds.